we're going to do, this is actually last Sunday, I was supposed to share it was Mission Sunday, but so we're going to do a delayed Mission Sunday, like a belated birthday. This is belated Mission Sunday. So I wanted to give you a little bit of an update, not on all our locations that we partner with. There are 6 locations that we partner with, but a couple that we've been especially working with and making changes to. So, okay, Jaden, so you're going to be my clicker, right? Okay, go ahead, honey. Okay, so the first one is Kings Kids Village, Nairobi. It's used to be 5 kilometers outside the city of Nairobi, but now it's barely outside the city of Nairobi because our unofficial population is 7 million, and it just keeps growing.
Wow.
So fast. So we're like almost in the city now, and we were in the country. But I would like to read to you an update that I got from Lydia. Lydia and Trey now run Kings Kids Village. It started with Mom and Dad Stern some years ago, I've been going there about 21 years ago. They were in their late 70s, and God had given them this vision to start an orphanage, and what He gave us was out of the forgotten will come the begotten. And now I've been going there, this will be my 19th year in January. Wow. Going, and the kids, a lot of them that I had as very little kids are now grown, have families of their own, are still going for the Lord. Some come back to mentor and help, and it's been a wonderful experience that they've had a chance to have a life, because there are millions of kids still out there. But these kids, God has called, they've had a chance to have a life. So the laws have changed in Kenya, so I'm just going to read this to you right quick. So, going with the flow of change while maintaining our core values and mission. The new Kenya Children's Act of 2021 reflects a worldwide movement to better protect and care for vulnerable children. The purpose of Kenya's new law is to seek the greater protection of the individual child and to address changes that they have had in managing children's institutions. Translation of that is there's a lot of use and abuse going on in different places because of no oversight. One of these challenges is the adverse effect of a child getting disconnected from his or her extended family and cultural roots, and too often resulting in emotional wounds and identity issues. Most places, as soon as they turn 18, out they go, and then there's just no connection whatsoever. We don't throw the kids out at 18, they go until they're, we feel they're ready to go. And we do try to help them with school after high school. Let's see. Okay. We have witnessed this lack of connection in some of our kids who have grown up at Kings Kids Village. A greater effort is needed in placing these kids in forever families. The process of responding to these new directives has brought with it the realization that children's home can, at best, only model the family, but cannot replace it. It's like, where do these kids go for the holidays, for summer, to celebrate their marriage, all that stuff that you do in life with your family? How are these new directives affecting Kings Kids Village? When fully transitioned, Kings Kids Village will be short-term rescue and care center for children who need a safe place to land. This means the focus will be to keep them short-term, less than 3 years. The government wants 3 years. We'll see how that works out. We're praying about that. It's not that easy. While finding them more permanent family. It means that we will become a foster care and adoption center, finding homes and placing kids into safe and caring families. Our first priority will be finding and working with their own extended families when possible to reconcile children to their relatives. So when I was there last year, we started that process, and it is a process just like here. You can't just go and adopt a kid. You have to be vetted, you have to be, home visits, and we have to do all that social work stuff. This new model is social work heavy and also means developing more ideas of how to help the families of children in the community rather than just helping the children, him or herself. Where are we in the transition? So far, we have placed 6 of our children in foster care homes and have reconciled 5 to their own extended families. We usually have between 48 and 50 kids. We are actively looking for more families to foster and adopt. The job is too big for us alone. We are developing an educational presentation, to take to the churches in our area to help people better understand the why and how to help. So Trey and Lydia have already started to do this because we want to go to God's people first, if at all possible. You know, the families. A lot of these kids ended up, when I first started going in 2005, the AIDS epidemic was so rampant that people were there was just kids becoming orphans on the street by the thousands because there was no education, there was no medication, it was just crazy. But now that's changed a bit over the years because we've done a lot of education, we have medication, so not as much, but there's still a lot of kids out there that still need a place. So if we can possibly put them with somebody that's already their family, you know, that's the biggest, the best way. Okay, Jane.
Jaden.
Next. If there's any questions along the way, feel free. Okay, so this is a new program, the feeding program partnering with Jesus Celebration Center in the village of Kanyo in Kangudu. And so my friend Mama Florence, who's been at King's Kids Village for quite a long time, she's one of the mamas in the house in one of the apartments, and we're partnering with her church because I know some of you have heard me say this, during COVID, moms were, got so bad there because there's no social programs, there's no food stamps, none of that kind of stuff. So if you don't work, you don't eat, and they closed everything down during COVID, so people were having a hard time trying to make any kind of income. So moms, and there's a lot of single moms, they got to the point where they were feeding their kids mud pies.
Wow.
Actual mud pies like you made when you were a little kid. Because just to get something in the kids' stomach. So we started this program with their church, and it's been going really good. Go ahead, Jane. There's a few more, I think, pictures of that. Yeah, so that's their church. Kids are all holding up their little cups. Okay. Yeah, so that's, let's see. So Mama Florence has a little blue bow in her hair, and she travels. This is her shad. It means village. This is her village, and she goes, every time she gets off from KKV, she goes and helps them with that. We've been trying to do that every Sunday, and it's basically what's called ugali and zukuma. Zukuma is like a grain, it's like collard greens. It's very high in iron nutrition, and ugali, which is made from corn, and that's basically the staple. People eat that every single day, for pretty much every single meal, if they're in this situation. Okay, so now this is okay. We are building the children's home, as you all know. I just thank everyone so much here in our own home church, and you out there that and all the different places that have helped support this. We are so thankful for your prayers, for your financial support. It's been great. So we're going to go through some pictures and to show you the progression of how this was built and where we are now. So it just started with them building, getting the foundation ready. They don't have basements, so just, the foundation. So Kisi, just to let you know, is in tea country. It's a very high altitude, and this is about a mile down the road, down a path. I can't even call it a road. I had a really hard time breathing because it's such a high altitude. Yeah. But they, of course, live there, so it's not. So, okay, then they're putting in the bricks. We did this in three different sections. Now we're starting with the walls.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, these guys worked hard, let me tell you. Even Pastor got in there, and Pastor Eric got in there and helped whenever he could. Okay, so stop there, and so you can see there's now starting the outer doorways and windows and that sort of thing. Okay. Now this, the wood that you see up now, they're getting ready to start doing the roof, which I thought was the most interesting part. Go ahead. Yeah. Uh-huh. Next. Okay. The roof is, that's really steel, it's more like aluminum. So when it's done, my friend Ferdy, who is in Nairobi, we did the solar light project, that we make solar lights out of 2-liter pop bottles. That cost, the whole thing cost me $80 to do this whole project. So he's gonna come from Nairobi and help them do the solar lights in there. Pastor Eric's grandfather actually donated this land to us. So now they're putting, you know, you've got, unfortunately, bars on the windows and all that because, you know, people steal all the time. Yeah, you gotta have good security, especially when you have children. Very important. I've been there for some really horrible things happening to kids. Okay, so stop there, Jaden. So as you can see, so now they're doing.
How big is it?
How big is it?
Yeah, how big is the building?
That's a good question. I don't have the measurements with me, but it's big enough so we're gonna have a girl's bedroom, a boy's bedroom, a room for Pastor Eric and his wife, and his kids. They're right in with the other kids. You know, bathroom, shower. They've never had indoor plumbing, so this is going to be a first for them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then, you know, like a kitchen.
I know it.
That's right.
But they actually, people, they do a lot of the cooking outside, or they'll have like a little, they'll make like a little shack kind of thing to do the cooking outside just because it's hot, you know. So a lot of times they'll make their little kitchen part outside, and then like a living room area.
So you said there's a boy's bedroom and a girl's bedroom, so how many kids do each bedroom house?
Well, it's not gonna be like, it's not as big as KKV, let me start right there. So we have, I think we have 8 right now. We won't have more than 10 at a time. But like they said, we're hoping it to be, it's gotta be a rescue center, it can't be a permanent. And actually, so far, we have already fostered out a couple of kids with families.
Liz,
Yes, sir.
rescue center meaning what?
Children's Home and Rescue Center, meaning we take them off the street, but within 3 years, we try to get them fostered somewhere.
Okay, okay.
So the inside is like, kind of like cement, plaster, kind of. So now they're working on the inside. And okay, that's the kitchen. So they have a sink, but their stoves are all propane. So most people just have a stove top, but if you actually have a stove, you can actually have a stove, but they're all propane, you know, with the tanks. But when they cook outside, it's wood. They just, you know, it's fire, like over a fire pit. No, they're working. Okay, yeah. So they're making, because it rains a lot there, they're trying to make like, basically like a trench around, so the water stays out. Okay, so on the very right it's Pastor Eric, and in the middle is my friend Lucy, who I've known for 19 years, and her brother Gilbert, who is he drives for us. Usually I rent a car in Nairobi and then we go to Kisii, which is about 6 hours from there. They're from, Lucy's family is from Kisii, and she translates for me because when I share the word there, my English is too twangy. And so they can't understand it. So Lucy translates for me into Kisi. It's Swahili, but every place, just like here in the South, you can't always understand what people are saying because of their accent stuff. It's the same thing there. So they're my people on the ground, basically. Them and Martha from King's Kids Village has been a big blessing. She's helped with all the paperwork with them and getting them started on fostering the kids.
How far is King's Kids Village from this rescue center?
6 hours.
Oh, so it's in Kisi?
Yeah, it's in
Oh,
Kisi.
okay.
So the King's Kids Village is in Nairobi.
Yes, right outside in Nairobi. Mhm.
So Liz, is the distance, I'm sorry, but
No,
is
no, it's
it
okay.
equitable to what it would be to drive on the next road here, or is the 6 hours taking into account rough roads?
Interesting. Yes, all of that. So you will find, right, by big cities, of course, you'll find some, nice roads, and they keep trying to build more roads. So we've been trying to keep up is the hard part. What you have to really be aware of halfway there is the monkeys. Like we watch out for dogs, deer, all that. You have to watch out for the monkeys, and I mean a lot of monkeys. And they're all on the side of the road. Yeah, they're hysterical.
Wow, that is wild.
Yeah, we fed some one time, but like the chief or whoever had to come first, and all the other ones stood back. So he ate, and then he went on, and then the other ones could come, very respectful. Because they probably know they would get clipped, and they did. So. But you can't get a vehicle, we're trying to figure out now how to get a vehicle from the main road to here. Because like we walked it, but it was like hiking up down the side of a mountain. It's just a path, like a cow path, but it's really hard to walk in big, huge ditches, and yeah, so we're just trying to figure out what to do now. At least we can maybe get a cart with a donkey or something. I have to be able to get there, right? Okay, go ahead. Okay. We already did that one. Huh? Oh, we did? Okay, I'll just fill you in on the other ones then. Okay. I thought we had more pictures then. All right, so that's the two main ones the three main ones we're working on right now. Our schools and that we partner with our two schools in Masai Land, they're doing good. Everything's moving along really good. Our school in Mombasa, with Fred and Naomi, we are trying to figure out, the rents just keep going up, and the school is in the slums. People just can't afford anymore. So we're trying to figure out different ways to support. And so Fred actually just texted me this morning with, he's thinking about maybe, they call it outside side business. He's really good at carpentry, so he wants to make like a little shop, little store to sell school supplies, which my friend Ferdy did in Nairobi, because everyone seems to be selling vegetables. So he wanted to try to find something that is a need, but to help support. Fred and Naomi they just are incredible. They just, no matter what, keep going for the Lord and doing their best for these kids and really have a vision. And without a vision, we really do perish. So yeah, they're just really incredible people. And his mom was making we feed the kids a really nice meal once a day, in midday, and she was cooking for us, and then 2 years ago she had a stroke. So now she's praying for him, but we had to find somebody now, we had to hire somebody to cook. So yeah, it's an incredible situation, but just to see how they just keep going no matter what. Yes, ma'am.
How long do you stay when you go?
I try to go for 3 months. So, and go to all 6, places. My main thing, of course, is evangelism. This is okay and stuff, and I do have a vision. I love the kids, and I work with them a lot in whatever capacity, they need at the time. I bring a lot of stuff over for them, and but teaching people how to go out and witness, and I bring lots of tracts with me, and really teach them how to go out, get out of the four walls, just like here, we're always trying to get out and do things, and that's my favorite part of the whole thing, the one-on-one. Anything else?
Is there anybody else that partners with them besides us?
Oh, well, King's Kids Village, yeah, they have, it's a very huge, okay, so King's Kids Village is on 5 acres of land. We are, in the 19 years that I've been going there, we have become as self-sufficient. We keep trying to, and we keep trying to tell people, you've got to become self-sufficient. This could stop tomorrow, this money from here, We're always trying to, that's why we did the sewing project in Kesey, and at King's Kids Village, we have what's called roasters, chickens, and every 6 weeks, we sell them. We have a house that we built, like a huge chicken coop. Then we have about 42 free-range chickens, which we use to feed the kids. We have our own water supply now. It's called a borehole. Because it's so sandy, that was a lot to do that, because they had to build up the walls and stuff. We had that, but now we are doing, we also have tilapia, which we sell. We have our own farm, our own, with fruits, vegetables, zucchini, zucchini, the whole, everything that we could possibly grow. And we do farming God's way. That's another thing we do in all these locations. I take Helen, one of the kids that grew up at King's Kids Village. She does early childhood education, and she's also a consultant for Farming God's Way. And we go and we try every place we go to get people to do this. It's very inexpensive. At least grow some food. So if times get really hard, which they're gonna, you can at least have some food. Kevin, did you?
Oh, I was just wondering, would you tell people how, that couple that named their child after you, they didn't know your middle name?
Oh, it's Kesey. So they had a little girl, they had a boy, and then she got pregnant again, and she had a little girl, and they named her Elizabeth Ann, after me. Well, Elizabeth after me, but they didn't know that my middle name is Ann. So she's my little sweetie. She's actually like 6 now, so that was a bit ago, but.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. They actually, they not only pastor and run this, but they have 4 children. Boy, Elizabeth, then they had twins, and one of the twins has cerebral palsy. So that's a whole, very, and still, just, it's amazing. 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 We good? Anything else? Yeah, Matt.
Where's Essie?
Pardon?
Where's Essie?
Oh my goodness, Essie's grown, married, 2 kids.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Her sister Irene, remember Irene? She
Yeah.
just last time I was there, she just opened up a little restaurant. And
Why don't you tell the people who Essie is and how we sponsored Essie?
Oh, okay, so Essie was our first child that we sponsored back in, I think we started I went 05, so 06. We started sponsoring her in 06. And she.
How old was she at the time?
She was actually our first, her and her sister were our first girls. We had, at the time we had gotten our first 2 boys, then we got the next 2 boys, and then we got Essie and Irene, who were living next door to the boys' home that we used to also support. And they were living with their very elderly aunt, who really, couldn't talk, and it was in a very bad section. We didn't want really to take kids that old, but a lot of the kids we got at first were that old, and they'd never been to school either. So she was 13 at the time, and Irene, I think, was like 9 or 10. And they were taking care of the auntie, it was sad. Anyway, so we got them at King's Kids Village, and she did really well. She ended up going to college. She is trying to think of the title, what's it equivalent to here? Kind of like, I want to say, like a nutritionist? Kind of,
Dietitian? A
what?
dietitian,
Yeah.
nutritionist?
Kind of like that, but also like nursing. I don't know, it's kind of like a big thing wrapped into one, like a lot of hats, but in the medical field. Yeah, she worked really hard. She worked really hard to do that, and it was a good thing. Yeah, yeah. Most of our kids that have, this one boy, Davis. I just love Davis. He came back when I was there last year, and he helped one of our boys who was 13. He wants to do graphic design, computer stuff, and that's what Davis does. So he's been mentoring him. He came back and he's mentoring him in that. And that was really the vision of Mom and Dad, to have these kids come back and give back, and to mentor and stuff. And they do. When I'm there, I always get to see, the older kids always come. I get to see them. They're all taller than me now. But yeah, they you gotta pour into them, just like our kids here. You gotta pour into them when they're young, right? And so hopefully when they get old, they won't depart from the way.
So is the official language of Kenya English?
It is, because Kenya was an English colony. And that's why I like Kenya, because languages, I'm not really great at languages. And so I can really pretty much speak to anybody.
So you got a twang.
But I got a 20, yeah. In Nairobi, I don't have a problem. It's just because Kisie's very out, country in the country. It's like going down to, I don't know, the Appalachians.
Come on, ask her a question.
Is there a rescue center ready to open just about?
This one, the one that we just,
Yes.
no, we're still building. We have to now do all the inside stuff, finish all of that, and then get beds and all that. So where they were living before, they're in an apartment right now, but where they were a house, where they were living before, it kept flooding every rainy season. It kept flooding, and that's, the kids' bedroom, everything kept flooding. And it just was ruining everything. So we really, had to get out of there. So they're in a house right now, which we're helping them with the rent. And but we do want to get this finished as quick as we can, so we can stop paying rent and get them, into that place. Good question.
So how much is it to furnish, like, the kids' rooms with the beds? Like, what are the, is it?
I don't have the things with me, but
Where beds are they?
bunk beds, there'll be bunk beds. Probably metal. I don't have the figures with me, I'm sorry. Good?
I got another question.
Yes,
Are you still
absolutely,
nervous?
that's what we're
Are you
here.
still nervous?
Yes. Jess?
Did our school that we funded just open recently, or something like that, or was it like a year or two ago?
Kesey,
Which one?
the
The
ones we were
newest
taking
one.
donations for?
Oh, the ones that we raised the 7,800 for?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one we're building now.
Okay.
Yeah.
How will somebody donate?
Through church.
Yeah.
Yep, through church.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Yes, Shannon?
Why don't you share why what you're doing over there, what we contributed towards is important?
I'm sorry, what?
Why do we focus on missions? What is the benefit? That's all I'm asking. Why
People
is-
get saved.
Yeah, I mean, the benefit is you want people to get saved, because Jesus said, go into all the world, right?
Right, why is it important to you to do that? What is that your call, in other words?
Yeah.
Well, I think everybody's call is to go into all the world, but that could just mean walking out this door. But my call just happens to be going far. Far away. I've always wanted, I don't know, it's always been in me since I was five years old. My mom was always yelling at me, come back here.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to go all the time. Somebody told me when I was a new Christian that my best ability will be availability and adaptability. Those are my two best abilities. So I can go and sleep on whatever and do whatever, you know, squatty potty, bugabella, you know, you can do all that stuff. Because God gives you the grace to do it. But, you know, I agree with Rick Warren, who wrote Purpose Driven Life. Everyone should go on at least one mission trip in their life. And it doesn't have to be across the world. It could be New York City, NISA, you know, for a week, or Mexico, or wherever. There's a zillion places, you know, you can go. But I think it just changes your whole perspective on life.
Yeah.
Getting out of here, you know. When I first started going to Kenya, I'd come home and I'd like run the tap and just drink water out of the tap, drink water. You know, didn't have to boil it, wait for it to be cooled, and so on and so forth. You know, we just take all that stuff for
Yeah.
granted, you know,
Yeah.
just so. And then you go to the store and there's 50 different water filters you can get, and that kind of thing. So yeah, you've definitely come back very appreciative of the little niceties you know, that we have here. But I tell you, when I'm there, I'm so blessed by the people there. You know I said this a long time ago. You think you're gonna go and, you know, you're this missionary, it's gonna go and help these people. They give you so much back in just love and thankfulness that you just are overwhelmed. You're just overwhelmed. It is overwhelming sometimes.
How did your passion develop for Kenya?
I will tell you that. What my thing, well, and for missions, but for Kenya specifically, so Paul and Eleanor Stern were friends of pastors from, I guess, quite a long time ago, right? So when we were at Shema, he came to our church. And I was at the point where, you know, we were full-time missionaries for 17 years, and then when I came back to Rochester with the kids, you know, they'd stopped for a while. So my kids were growing, I was ready to start going out again. And so Grandpa Stern came, and he spoke at our church in Shema, and, you know, the Lord, you know, in your heart, how things just kind of start stirring and stuff. So I went up to him afterwards and introduced myself, and I said, in 6 months I'm going to come and work with you. And I'm sure people tell them all the time, oh yeah, I'm going to come, you know. So, but within 6 months, I went. It was my first time to go to Kenya, and I just...
What year was that?
2005, yeah, I just loved it. But I could have stayed in Brazil the rest of my life too. I love Brazil, I love Sri Lanka, there's a lot of places I really love.
She's been all over,
So,
except to Italy.
I haven't been to Italy, I'm Italian, I have not been to Italy, I am embarrassed about that. My plan landed there one time, but we never got out, so I can't really say I've been there. But hey, just as a commercial, if anybody ever wants to go, I mean, I go for long periods, but I've taken people for a week, 2 weeks. I would say don't come for less than 2 weeks, because it's, you know, to spend that money to go for a week to me is kind of ridiculous. But 2 weeks, because, you know, you need a day or two to jet lag yourself and, you know, get acclimated. It is about... because of daylight savings, it's either 7 or 8 hours ahead of us. So, you know, that time change does make a difference. I have to give a shout out to our dear sister Terry, because she helps me with my ticket. She helps me find tickets. I am terrible at that, but she's great at it. So yeah, give her a hand. She's a real blessing. And for all, like again, for all that, you know, you guys who have faithfully given, I'm just so appreciative, so thankful, really.
Amen.
Okay.